It's 70 degrees at Pittsburgh International. At 9 o'clock, I'm David Ballarado. A busy night for Pittsburgh police. A man was shot in the ribs with an arrow on California Kirkbride. This happened around 11:45 last night. He was found on the 800 block of Brightridge Street. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Also, a man said he was shot in the back in Beltshoover. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital by private means and is reported to be in stable condition. And a 16-year-old from McKees Rocks is being charged as an adult for the shooting of a teenager in Hazelwood. That victim was shot in both of his legs and is listed in stable condition. A Clarksburg man is dead after a one-car accident last night in Derry Township. The Westmoreland County Coroner's Office says 28-year-old Richard Muth of Clarksburg was ejected from his 2022 Dodge Charger while traveling eastbound on Torrance Road last night around 8:30. He was pronounced dead at the scene. While investigators don't know what caused the crash, they do believe that speed and alcohol were factors. An update on a story from a few weeks ago when human remains were found in Sharpsburg. The Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office says the remains found by gas crew workers along Short Canal Street were found in a burial site for Native Americans. The county says the remains will be released to the appropriate ancestors for repatriation. Some people love them and some people hate them, but those orange e-scooters are about to disappear from Pittsburgh streets. KDKA-TV's Royce Jones explains.
But come Monday, they will no longer be operable, and over the coming weeks, the fleet will be removed entirely. For these e-scooter riders, this ride around the point will be their last.
Aww, it's a real downer.
We broke the news to them about the pilot program grinding to a halt next week. They tell us the scooters will be missed for a number of reasons.
They're super easy. Just get an app, scan a QR code, and hop on.
Convenient, too. It's cheaper than getting an Uber or some other form of transportation.
According to the city of Pittsburgh, the pilot program is reaching the end of its ride as the state works through a complicated legislative process surrounding the scooters. And without any additional state authorization, they are no longer permitted.
Efforts continue to expand broadband access across the state. News Radio KDKA Shelby Cassesi has more.
Governor Josh Shapiro was in Beaver County Friday to highlight some of those initiatives, including $1.16 billion in federal funds dedicated to bringing internet access to all Pennsylvania residents.
The lack of broadband access holds us all back. Connecting people to high-speed, affordable internet right now will help grow our economy, and it will help strengthen our community.
PBDA, the independent bipartisan organization administering the money, has identified 50,000 places in Pennsylvania that still lack access to high-speed internet. The FCC has approved 32,000 of them to be eligible for the funding. The money is expected to hit Pennsylvania next year. Shelby Cassesi, News Radio KDKA.
And in KDKA Radio Sports, the Pirates fell to the Diamondbacks last night in Arizona. They will meet again this afternoon. You can catch the game on 93.7 The Fan. The first pitch is at 4:10 p.m. KDKA Radio News, time 9:03. Time to call Shenderovich and Fishman. Why pay 40% when you can pay 25%? Call 888-98-TWINS. The AccuWeather forecast is next.
What makes Coons Market a special place in your neighborhood?
The aroma of fresh baked bread from the Coons Bakery Department.
Bright colors of farm fresh produce loaded with nutrients.
A large selection of delicious hot and cold deli items satisfying everything you need.
A friendly quality meat department that gives you custom cuts right on the spot.
Coons knows what you like and provides the best bakery, deli, produce, and meat services at all 8 Coons Market locations. This week you'll find
fresh from the Coons produce section. Sweet northern cherries, $1.59 per pound. Red or green seedless grapes, $1.99 per pound. In our bakery, classic 8-inch blueberry pies, $7 each. And in the Coons Deli, old-time Canadian maple baked ham, just $6.99 per pound.
Great savings.
Coons Specialty Departments give you the best quality with savings you can see on your Coons Reward Card.
Shop at one of Coons' 8 store locations or shop online at coonsmarket.com for convenient curbside pickup.
Coons Market,
a Pittsburgh tradition.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For today, times of clouds and sunshine, high of 84 degrees. Perhaps a shower thunderstorm around from the late evening on for tonight, low of 65. A couple showers in the thunderstorm for tomorrow, not as warm with a high of 74 degrees. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
And right now, it's 70 degrees. KDKA Radio News Time, 9:05. Our next update's at 9:30. I'm David Ballarado on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio, KDKA.
The following is paid for by MediConnect. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM. and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we are here, Lance O'Brien, and of course we've got a very special guest who is making his command performance on this show, and you're going to be hearing a lot more from him in the weeks and months to come. But I want to begin by saying it pays to know MediConnect and the Inside Connection, because in just a couple of minutes that we were talking about Social Security, a light bulb went off. So I thank you for that. It's great to have you here, Lance. You do this type of stuff every day for everyone. So let me ask you before we jump into this program, this new Alzheimer's drug that broke the story, and so much so that my listeners, we were talking about it the other night, and I wanted to spend a little time talking to you about it, because one of the stories is that they have to now get Medicare ramped up to be able to cover this for people. It basically is a drug that the FDA has approved for people with early stages of Alzheimer's. So give me the reason why Medicare has to get ramped up to cover people. Explain that, and I'll say good morning again.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm really good.
Good. Did you have a good 4th?
I did.
Do anything exciting? Fun?
I was here, but you know what? It's okay.
This is exciting and fun, right?
These are my people. This is my family.
But yeah, this Alzheimer drug became a big thing a couple years ago, right? Back, not this year, but 2022, a lot of the increases that we're seeing in the Part B premium, other parts of Medicare were a direct result of this drug getting approved and the cost that they thought it was going to be. Now, it didn't end up being as effective as they thought. So honestly, the answer, it's not the best one or the greatest one, but it's the true one, is there's still a lot of uncertainty, Rob. We know Alzheimer's is a big deal. We know that we need to find ways to treat it. But this drug that came to market, very expensive, didn't work quite as well as they thought it was going to. So now they're trying to figure out, what's the next step, essentially.
All right, fair enough. So let's get to our special co-host today, and we'll get started with some Medicare 101 and also have a little fun, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have Mark Clark with us this morning. Hi, Mark.
Hey. Good morning. Good morning, Rob. How you doing?
It's great to see you again, sir.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be here again.
So Mark's an integral part of our team, one of our managers, works directly with our agents. I've known Mark for 20 years. We worked previously outside of this industry, so just a good friend, great part of our team. Really looking forward to integrating him, bringing his knowledge, his perspective to what we do on the show. Excited to be in this Medicare series where we start really breaking out the education. And Rob, you've been with us every step of the way the last 5 years. For us, it's always been about education.
Absolutely.
Right. That's first and foremost what MediConnect stands for. We're not motivated by trying to get people to go on to Medicare. Right, Mark? We meet with a lot of people that are trying to decide between group coverage and Medicare. Our goal is not to get people to go to Medicare. Our goal is to get people to make the right decision for them.
Right.
Same thing. A lot of times, Mark and I will get the question, well, someone told me I should get a Medigap. That Medigap's the best. It's the only thing that I should do. And then I've had other people say, you should get a Medicare Advantage plan. Somebody told me that a Medicare Advantage. You know what, Rob? We don't believe either one of those things. We don't think that you should just get a Medigap. We don't think you should just get a Medicare Advantage. What we believe is that you should be educated to understand how they work. When I do a workshop, when I do a seminar, I talk about the pros and cons of a Medigap and a Medicare Advantage. Medigap's got 3 pros, in my opinion, 1 con. Medicare Advantage has 4 pros and 2 cons. Here's my point. We don't dictate to people their coverage, right? We let them make the decision after they get educated, and I think that's so important.
You put the cards on the table and let them pick the card.
Right, and that's the bread and butter. That's what I'm passionate about. If we don't do that, then why are we doing this at all, right? I want somebody to sit across the table from them, walk through the entire process with us, and be able to see what is the best option for their budget, their health needs, their circumstance, their situation, and there's no cost at any time, and I love that.
And then the other thing, too, Mark can attest to this, you can, Sean, Laura, everyone, Brian, you also, if somebody says, and I would do it because I do it all the time on this show, on and off the air when you're in the building, What's your opinion?
Yep.
You're professionals. This is what you do. That's why you're the number one person in company at what you do in this marketplace when it comes to helping people with Medicare decisions. That's why I'm here. And I'm not paying for your services, so I want all the bells and whistles, and I want you to tell me what your opinion is. And that goes a long way in helping me make up my mind, right, Mark?
Absolutely. Knowing and understanding how Medicare works is a really important thing, because a lot of times the general public just doesn't know the details of how this puzzle fits together, and so they're blind and they throw a dart at the target and they're just guessing. And that's why MediConnect is here. We're here to help guide you and walk you through those steps so that you're not blind anymore.
Yeah, I've had people come in, Rob, before said, I want an Advantage plan. Right? That's what I want.
Right.
Yep. And then as we review everything with them, go over what Part A and B is, which we're going to dive deep into B today, right? We're really going to go deep into that in the next couple segments. And then once we go over the private insurance options, they realize based on their health needs, they realize based on their need for doctor network or whatever, that something else is a better option for them. So always leading people to a place where they can make a great decision for themselves. That's what really matters. Got a lot of seminars coming up, which we're going to hit in a few minutes. But yeah, we like to have a little bit of fun too.
That's good for everyone involved.
Yeah, because Medicare's not fun. Let's just be honest. It's intense, it's overwhelming, it's confusing, but it's not fun. That's
it's
not
comforting,
one option.
though.
Yeah, it can be for sure. Peace of mind, right? So we got this day in history. So Mark, why don't you get us started with Colonel John Nixon?
Colonel John Nixon. On this date in history, I guess it's July 8th, right? He gives the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia in 1776.
Yeah, and then in 1835, Rob, the Liberty Bell cracked. Right?
Whoops.
It's been a little while, huh?
Exactly.
Somebody's got to have some duct tape or super glue somewhere, I would think. But
something. Yes. Then the Wall Street Journal was published for the first time on July 8th back in 1889.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty spectacular.
Almost 200 years, right? Well, 150 anyway. Should I be ashamed to say I've never read it?
I love it.
Do you?
I don't understand it all, but I love it. I do. I really do.
I need to dive in and check it out. Here's one. 1946, Major League grants a minimum salary for the first time on this date, and it was how much, Rob?
$5,000.
$5,000, baby. What's the minimum salary today?
Go ahead.
$720,000. Man, those guys, if they could come back, they'd be like, man, I got rigged. You can make as much now in one game, if you play all 162 games, as they made for an entire season.
Let me tell you something. I love my Pirates, but I love the whole Major League Baseball thing. Mark and Lance, you'll appreciate this. Unless you've been in a Major League Baseball locker room, you have no idea. And this is me. That's why I'll never be looked at as one of the greatest sports journalists in the world, because I always look at the backstory. I was blown away by all the different types of bubble gum, all the different sunflowers, tennis shoes of all sizes, shapes, makes, and models, sweatsuits, every type of athletic apparel you would ever want. What they give you and what they feed you, the best hamburgers, the best, gourmet baked goods, slush puppies, all this stuff. You could live off what they give you plus the per diem to eat and the clothes. You could bank that entire check other than paying your rent. So it's good to be in the big leagues.
There you go. Yeah,
absolutely.
I should have kept hitting the ball, right?
if I could only hit the ball.
Yeah, there you go.
More recently, the Space Shuttle Atlantis launched its final mission on this day in 2011, closing out a significant chapter of space exploration history.
Yeah, now we have the Elon Musks.
But we're going to the moon in November 2024. So
awesome. That's awesome.
NASA. And how about this? I've been reading a lot about him, and he's made a nice comeback, this guy, because he was dealing with some serious health issues. It's great to see him back on stage.
Yeah, so Toby Keith turned 62 years old today. Another musician, Beck, is 53 years old today, and then actress Sophia Bush is 41. So some big names for some big birthdays.
All right, now we got that trivia question. If you think you know the answer, 412-922-1020. Zach will get to those calls, and we'll get a winner, and that winner will win what?
$15 gas card. It'd be more if Medicare would let us give more, because we like to give, but 15 is what we can give, so that's what we'll give.
That's what we're going to give. Okay, so what about the trivia question? Who wants to do that?
So here's the question. You're probably connected to this birthday boy in 6 degrees or less. He turns 65 today. So this actor, 6 degrees or less, think about that. Turned 65 and newly Medicare eligible today.
412-922-1020. All right, you got seminars coming up. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, we got a couple seminars coming up. July 11th, 6 p.m., Penn Hills Library. That's at 1037 Stoller Road, Pittsburgh. And then July 11th again at 6 p.m. at the AHN Hempfield Neighborhood Hospital. That's right there in Greensburg, right off of Route 30.
It's in your neck of the woods, Mark.
Yeah, my backyard. And we're also coming to Butler, Coriopolis, Bethel Park, Glenshaw, Vandergrift in the coming weeks. You want to go to MediConnectInsurance.com and click the seminars tab. We've got live advisors standing by at 888-818-6334. They're ready to answer your questions. They're ready to help you.
We'll be back. Again, we've got a lot to get to today on the program, but remember, you can set up an appointment with your representatives at MediConnect, always standing by until noon. Never a charge for their services. 888-818-MEDI, 888-818-6334, MediConnectInsurance.com.
The source you trust for news and information that matters. News Radio, KDKA.
The hills are alive with Pittsburgh CLO's The Sound of Music. In this Rodgers and Hammerstein classic, Maria fills the lives of the Von Trapp family with joy, laughter, and music. Featuring songs like The Sound of Music, Do Re Mi, Edelweiss, and more. Featuring Broadway stars and local Pittsburgh favorites. The Sound of Music, July 11th to 16th at the Benedum Center. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghclo.org.
It's a beautiful day at the grocery store. The shopper is rounding the end cap. Uh-oh, looks like there's some spilled tomato sauce. Here comes the slide. Oh, that's going to leave a mark, Bob. Talk about a curveball.
Clean up on aisle 5.
At Morgan & Morgan, we know injuries can come out of left field. As America's largest injury law firm, we've recovered over $15 billion for our clients. If you've been injured in an accident, call Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Wow, lots of flowers at oliverflowers.com. Roses and lilies at oliverflowers.com. Sunflowers and iris at oliverflowers.com. Orchid and peace lily plants at oliverflowers.com. And balloons, stuffed animals, and candy. Plus, Oliver Flowers exclusive nationally famous Milk Bar brand birthday cakes and cookies. oliverflowers.com. Free delivery when you order online. oliverflowers.com. It's never too late for flowers. Order 24 hours a day at oliverflowers.com.
I would suit up in my uniform, and you're going out on patrol. What are we going to do tonight? Well, we're going to rob some drug dealers, and I know how to do it really well.
Listen to and follow The Set, an Odyssey Originals documentary podcast series. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your shows.
I'm not a bad guy, man, but I loved being that dirty
beauty, durability, and value. For a limited time, get free installation on any Naturestone garage floor. Call or visit Naturestone.com to schedule your free cost estimate. Spots are filling up quickly, so act now. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
These are the people that make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Mark Clark, part of our team now. You'll be hearing a lot of him as we move forward on these Saturdays. Of course, Lance has been here since day one. Always good to have him here. And yes, we do have a winner, and the winner is...
The winner is Charlene from Pittsburgh. Today's trivia question was, what famous actor turned 65 Medicare eligible, and you should know him from 6 Degrees of Separation? And the answer is Kevin Bacon. And who doesn't like some bacon, right?
I know. How about Footloose? That's the first time I saw him. You know how long ago that was?
I just watched that recently. It was on the TV, and I was like, a little nostalgia won't hurt me, right?
But you realize how many movies this guy's been
in a lot of movies.
Really talented. All right, great musician, too. Okay, let's get started here.
Yeah, so Charlene, thanks for listening. We'll get your gift card out to you. We appreciate that very much. So last week we launched our Medicare series, our education series. We do this once a year. We don't always do it the same time of year, but it really fit well as we're heading into, believe it or not, in just a couple of months, the enrollment period. Mark and Lauren did an awesome job last week talking about Part A, which is the hospital or inpatient coverage. Rob, this morning, Mark and I are going to really build out Part B, which on the card is going to say medical. But when I talk about it, I like to say it's the outpatient coverage. So, Mark, what does Part B cover?
So Part B is going to cover doctor's visits with your primary care doctor, your specialist, physical therapy, imaging like CT scans, MRIs, X-rays, outpatient surgery, durable medical equipment. And, one of the key factors I always think, Lance, is you have to talk about Part B drugs, right? There's a big difference between Part D, as in drug. Those are drugs that, your doctor writes you a script, you go to the pharmacy, pick it up, then you administer it to yourself, right? But Part B drugs are totally different. They're not covered under Part D. Part B drugs are injected or infused in you. They're drugs that you have to go to a facility and usually get that treatment given to you by a medical professional. And so it's important to understand that part. And then you have to also know that Part B has a deductible. This year it's $226. It's usually around $200. Once you meet your deductible, Part B becomes an 80-20 co-insurance. The big kicker in all this is that there's no cap on Part B. So whatever that 20% is, you're going to be responsible for that.
Yeah, which we're going to dive into that quite a bit, but you're right. So you got Part A, right, that covers all your inpatient services, hospital, home health care, hospice, skilled nursing facility. Then you've got Part B that covers your outpatient services, all the things that you covered. Now, Part A is free, right, like you guys covered last week, as long as you've worked your 40 quarters.
That's right.
U.S. citizen, all that. Part B is not free, though, right? Part B has a monthly premium for most people, correct?
Yep. For most people, that premium is the standard premium's $164.90. That premium can be different each year. But what you also need to know is that, Rob, it's like this. If you make more money than the average person and tax time comes around, what happens? You end up paying more taxes, right? If you make more money than the average person, whatever Medicare deems as the average, right, then you pay more for your Part B. You could get assessed what's called an IRMA, income-related monthly adjustment amount. So, it's important to understand, and we can help you walk through that, take a look at it, see if you're going to be subject to something like that.
Yeah, so, Rob, when somebody signs up for Part B, which we're going to get into, should they, in the next segment, right? Because not everybody, when they turn 65, should sign up for Part B, right? So that's a big part that we're going to look at. But when somebody does enroll in Part B, they're most likely going to have a monthly premium. If they're already taking their Social Security when they go on to Medicare, that money's going to be deducted right from Social Security. Government likes to make it simple for them, i.e. take their money before they get their money, right? If they're not taking their Social Security before or when they go on Medicare, they're going to get a quarterly bill. So they'll just send in a check every 3 months. And for most people, it is that $164.90, although it changes from year to year. Like, we're going to find out late October, early November, what the new rate is for 2024. But for some people, they pay that elevated amount. And it's all based on income. For a married couple, it's around $200,000 a year, but it's a 2-year look back, right?
Correct.
What does that mean, Mark, that it's a 2-year look back on that income?
Well, it means every year they're going to look back, not at last year's income tax return, but 2 years ago, your income tax return. They're going to be looking at your gross adjusted income to determine how much you are going to have to pay for your Part B. The good news there is, most people's income will go down when they retire, at least slightly. Sometimes you might have to pay that IRMA when you start, but then as you get into your retirement a little further, you might not have to pay it. So
yeah. So as an example, if I go on to Medicare in 2023, let's say I sign up in September, they're going to look at my tax return from 2021, right? Yep. And if my modified adjusted gross income is over the number that they deem, and there's actually not just one number, is there? There's 5 levels.
There's 5
to this IRMAA, so you can end up paying almost $600 for Part B.
Yes, and so those folks are making a chunk of change, so I'm not feeling too bad.
You're not feeling super sorry for them, but
not really.
One of the things that we really do is we walk through if they're going to fall into one of those levels. So again, there's a standard premium. You can pay more, but some people, they don't pay more because of income. They pay more because of penalty. They didn't sign up at the right time, which I think we're going to jump into next segment. But Mark, as we're kind of winding down this segment over the next few minutes, some people don't have to pay for their Part B premium at all. And we've seen a lot of TV commercials on this. What does that mean?
Well, every state has different rules, and there are some states, those commercials can be very misleading because those rules might not apply to you. One of the first things those commercials, if you call into those commercials, they're going to ask you what your zip code is. And when you say you have a Pennsylvania zip code, they're going to say you don't qualify for this. But in Pennsylvania, there are people that don't have to pay their Part B premium, and that's because they qualify for Medicaid as well as Medicare. Medicaid is a state-funded insurance that people of low income or disability can be on or are on, and when they become eligible for Medicare as well, sometimes that's when they age in, sometimes that's because they have a qualifying disability. Medicaid can literally pay for your Part B. And so, those are the kind of things we can help people discover, because a lot of times people don't know that. Yeah. And so they might be delaying starting their Medicare because they're afraid of having to pay for Part B.
Yeah, so they get to Medicare by age 65 or by a disability, so that's based on age or health. They get Medicaid based on their financial situation, right? Right. So they're going to look at their income, Rob. They're going to look at their assets, and they're going to say, you qualify for Medicaid. If they qualify for Medicaid, then the state is going to pay that Part B premium for them. Yep. And then there's also one other scenario, and I think this is really important because this is kind of new, right? I mean, we've been talking about it for a few years, but a lot of people don't realize it. Mark, if somebody gets Part A and Part B, so they enroll, they've got that premium of $164.90, but they're a veteran. Maybe they've qualified for VA benefits because they served our country, which we say thank you to all the people out there that have done that. There are also ways for them to reduce their Part B premium, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There are plans out there that will give you a rebate on your Part B premium. Depending on the plan you choose, depending on the carrier, especially if you're going to the VA and getting a lot of your coverage from the VA and getting your coverage from even your medications from the VA. There are plans that you can get $50 or $60 a month. I think there's even one out there, Lance, that will give you $100 a month back towards your Part B. So instead of paying $164.90, if you get that $100 a month rebate, you're talking about $64.90 a month for your Part B premium.
And here's the great thing for our vets, Rob. It doesn't impact their veterans' benefits at all.
Absolutely right.
They can still go to the VA. They can still do everything there, but they get all these extra benefits.
All right, we're going to come back. We've got another segment with Mark, and, of course, Lance will continue on this Medicare 101. We've got some other things to get to as well. Don't forget seminars, July the 11th. These all start at 6, Penn Hills Library. July the 11th, AHN Hempfield Neighborhood Hospital. And then July 13th, Hampton Inn in Butler. July 19th, Moon Library, Beaver Grade Road. 888-818-6334 or MediConnectInsurance.com. Click on the Seminars tab.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Company.
There are more than 100 different liver diseases affecting millions of people around the world. I know because I was affected. The Community Liver Alliance announces Delivering Hope. Get a beautiful bunch of sunflowers for only $20 per bunch, and every bunch gives back. Order now at CommunityLiverAlliance.org. Offer hope to those that need it most, and make a difference in the health of your community. There are many pickup locations, and this year you can have flowers delivered to select zip codes. Go to CommunityLiverAlliance.org.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry and Marty. Breaking news and making a difference.
South Side, East Carson Street.
Same old crap. This is annoyingly redundant.
Oh, I mean, it's been going on for 3.5 years. There's lack of will in city government. Couple comes into the bar. They ask me, what happened to Southside?
The Big K Morning Show with Larry and Marty. Weekday mornings 5:30 till 10 on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Solutions Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News now.
It's 72 degrees at Pittsburgh International. At 9:30, I'm David Ballarado. Pittsburgh police have charged a 16-year-old in the shooting of another teen in Hazelwood. It happened around 5 p.m. Friday on the 2000 block of Chaplain Way. The victim is in stable condition. They're also investigating after a man said he was shot in the back in Beltsuver. This victim showed up at a local hospital around 9:45 last night. He said it happened near Taft Avenue. And city police also say someone was shot in the ribs with an arrow last night in California Kirkbride. The victim was found by police, who treated him until he was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The city's e-scooter program is coming to an end. It lost its authorization by the state, and they'll officially go out of service on Monday. Though the program is being put on an indefinite pause, the city says the Pogo Bike Share program is still operating, as is the Zipcar program. And don't forget to pick up some Powerball tickets for tonight.
You feeling lucky? The potential prize for the massive Powerball jackpot just made history. Someone could end up taking home $615 million in tonight's drawing. That's the 10th largest Powerball prize ever. There have been 33 consecutive drawings without a big winner. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
In sports, the Pirates and the Diamondbacks will meet again this afternoon in Arizona. First pitch is at 4:10 p.m., and you can catch the game on 93.7 The Fan. It's partly sunny and 72 degrees in Pittsburgh. I'm David Ballarado. Our next update's at 10. And stay up to date, minute by minute, on our Twitter feed at KDKA Radio.
Hi, this is Larry Richard with Dan Bitchoff, the PA Hypnosis and Anxiety Center. Anxiety, Dan, you know, is at an all-time high.
It's out of control right now, Larry. We have people calling in every day to help with anxiety. And the thing that we have here at the PA Hypnosis and Anxiety Center is we're able to get to the part of the brain that actually causes the anxiety. Most everybody knows that people have problems, but they can't control the anxiety on their own. So the sessions that we do actually from the first session on gets that part of the brain to stop causing that fight or flight anxiety response, and that's how we're able to give the guarantee with our program.
And you've worked with high-level athletes, Olympic athletes. Where do we get started?
We do a free consultation, and we're going to do the same thing with the clients here that we do with the U.S. Olympic team to help them win gold medals. So when you call the office for the consultation, we can set that up. It's 724-934-8446.
The PA Hypnosis and Anxiety Center, 724-934-8446. Call now.
So, ticks are in season, and many carry diseases. They can be in fields and fairways, at picnics and parks, backyards and baseball fields. If you're spending time outdoors, always protect, check, and remove if you find one. For more information on how to keep you, your family, and your pets safe, visit health.pa.gov/ticks.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For today, times of clouds and sunshine, high of 84. Then for tonight, a couple showers in the thunderstorm, mainly from the late evening on, low of 65. A couple showers in the thunderstorm again for tomorrow, not nearly as warm with a high of 74. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by MediConnect.
These are the people that make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, Mark Clark and Lance O'Brien, MediConnect, the inside connection. And when you enroll Medicare Part B for the first time, what do I need to know?
Yeah, so Rob, obviously we talk a lot about the seminars here. A lot of people want to come. sign up. So if you're listening today, just want to let you know, July 11th at 6 o'clock, we're going to be at the Penn Hills Library on Stotler Road, Pittsburgh. July 11th, 6 p.m., AHN Neighborhood Hospital in Greensburg. We so much appreciate our relationship with AHN. And then on the 13th, Hampton Inn Butler, 19th, Moon Library in Coriopolis. If you're new to Medicare in the next 12 months, you really need to go to one of those seminars. We're giving you a small snippet right now, but we cover initial enrollment periods, Part A, B, and even greater detail. We'll go into Medicare Advantage, MedSup. It's everything somebody needs to not read a 150-page book that's going to confuse them more, get the general knowledge, which will lead to the personal knowledge. But, Rob, Part B, the biggest question that we get, I think, and Mark would attest to this when we do a seminar, is, I'm turning 65. Do I need to sign up for Part B? Do I have to sign up for Part B? And it's usually followed by some sub-questions or statements, right? Someone told me if I don't sign up, I'm going to get penalized, right? I want to keep working. So let's start here, Mark. When someone turns 65, do they have to sign up for Part B or Medicare in general?
Well, the answer is probably maybe.
And clear as mud. Thanks, Mark. No, I'm kidding. That is the answer. It's maybe. Why is it maybe?
Well, because there's a lot of factors that can go into it. There's, do you have credible coverage? If you're still working and you have credible coverage from your place of work, or if your spouse is still working and you have credible coverage through them, then you don't have to sign up for Part B. If you don't have creditable coverage, that's where we start to say, okay, we need to figure out. Now, the equation is always, are you working and do you have insurance through your work, right? Or is your spouse working and still working and do you have? If those two things are still together, then you're safe from any penalty.
Right.
So that keeps you safe. If something in that equation changes, that's when you need to talk to MediConnect.
Right. So as long as the person providing the benefits, Mark, is actively working, the Medicare age person doesn't have to sign up for Medicare, and they don't have to worry about a penalty.
Correct.
But let's take it a step deeper, because we see this all the time. Even though they may have credible coverage through their work, is it always best for them to keep their work coverage?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Why? Because you might get better coverage at a lower cost through Medicare, and you can still keep working. So we always say give us the opportunity to show you, compare apples to apples, to show you, because a lot of group coverage, it's been a while since I've been on group coverage, Lance, but this is how it used to be for me. I either was with a company that had really great group coverage.
That's true. It really is true.
It was really bad group coverage. There's no real in the middle with the group coverage. So, group coverage will have high deductibles these days. It'll have high copays when you go see a doctor or use it. Medications might not be covered as well. Medicare, on the other hand, usually doesn't have a deductible, or if there is a deductible, it's a very low deductible. Copays are very reasonable, right? Yeah. And even monthly premiums for it can be very reasonable. So it really pays to understand that if you compare your group coverage, and I always say to people, especially if they're getting their coverage through their spouse and their spouse's work, it costs so much more to have a family member on your group coverage. An employee, it could be a few dollars every pay. But then when you add a family member, look out, because they're going to sock you. It's going to be 2 or 3 times more every month.
Yeah, Rob, let me give you an example. This is just from a week and a half ago. Someone that used to attend one of the churches that I was involved with gave me a call, said, hey, I'm turning 65, and my Medicare can start on July 1st. So they, only gave a couple weeks notice. And they were like, but I'm on my husband's. I'm going to keep working. I don't think I really want my Medicare or not. So we started reviewing the coverage, right? And the coverage wasn't that expensive. It was about $150 a month to have the coverage, right? But what we found is it was an HSA plan. And these are becoming more and more popular because they're affordable for employers to offer. But one of the big pieces of a HSA plan is it has to be a high deductible plan. So when we compare group coverage for someone trying to make this decision, do I go to Medicare or not, we look at the premium, the deductible, the coinsurance, and the max out of pocket. Well, they told me one story, Rob. He broke his wrist on this insurance that they had. deductible was $2,000. Their coinsurance was 20%. For a broken wrist, they paid, or a broken arm, sorry, they paid $6,000. So I was only paying $150 a month for the coverage. When we started reviewing what was available for Medicare, sure, they were going to pay $20 or $30 more in that specific scenario, but they were going to save money in the long run and have better coverage. So does someone need to enroll in Medicare Part B at age 65? They do not need to if they're actively working and they have coverage through their employer. But if they don't have that, what's not considered credible coverage, Mark? What's an example or two of not credible coverage? Cobra
is
right?
not, right? Yeah.
So say someone retires at age 64, Rob, and they are granted Cobra. Cobra lasts for 18 months, and they're like, well, I got coverage. I don't need Medicare. Well, Cobra's not credible with Medicare. So Medicare looks at that Cobra and says, you don't have health insurance right now. Right? So that's why people get so confused over all of this, honestly, Rob, is because there's not a one-size-fits-all answer. You answer one question, and it goes to another layer. And in that layer, it goes to another layer. Yeah. So our big thing is we want to be able to get you to understand that, yes, there's a penalty if you don't enroll at the right time, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's 65, right?
Correct.
So... we want to make sure that people really understand the ebb and flow of how this works. And then there's another important piece of this, Mark, that we do want to mention. Say someone enrolls in Medicare Part B and they're still working and they're paying for their coverage. And we see this, right?
Yeah.
One, they're wasting money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But even more than that, because they're paying $165 a month and they don't need to because they already have coverage and they're working, right? But here's the other big thing. They're using up their initial enrollment period.
Yes.
What does that mean, Mark?
Well, in your initial enrollment period, you get a golden ticket. You get the opportunity. What that means is Medicare is going to close its eyes to your health situation over the years. They're not going to look at your health history. They say, okay, you get this magic ticket and you can pick a Medicare supplement plan or you can pick a Medicare Advantage plan. And this is the one time you get that. Later, after you've made those choices, and if you've taken Part B when you didn't need to take Part B, and you've blown through this golden ticket period, then you might face underwriting if you're trying to go to a supplement plan. And if you've had any health issues, major health issues at all, they can deny you that coverage.
Right. So it's not only about making the decision or the timing, it's the ramifications of that decision, right? So it's not just penalties. People can punish themselves, Rob. Let's take the government out of it for a minute, right? Let's take the penalties which the government has set up. If you don't make the right decisions at the right time, you can actually punish yourself by taking away some of the opportunities you have to make decisions about your own health care. That's why, again, so important to understand all of the guidelines. And we didn't even get to this. You could be actively working, right, Mark? But your company has less than 20 employees.
That's right. Yeah.
Medicare says I have to get Part B in that scenario.
That's it.
Even though I'm actively working, even though the rule we just said 5 minutes ago, Rob, stands, if I have less than 20 employees, I have to get Part B or I'm going to be penalized.
That's why you need MediConnect. Let's just share this, too. You know, we had Elaine Cole on a couple of weeks ago, Social Security Administration, and I just found her fascinating, learned a lot. Actually, you got the profile set up. I'm in. And the age-old question is, you know, I'm still working, 66 and a half, but I met that mark now to where I can continue to make as much as I want and collect. And so I'm looking for advice. Do I take the money now or do I wait till I'm 70 or what? And you really were so smart, and we're not going to drill down the exact numbers, but explain about certain situations like my situation on why it might be a good idea to take the money and bank that money while I'm working.
Yeah, first thing I'll say is I'm obviously not a licensed financial advisor, right? But we work a lot in this space, and we have this question a lot, and I would just say do the math, right? Run the math, because, you know, there's a big difference between what you make at 66 and a half and what you make at 70.
Right.
But you got to divide what that looks like and the impact that it could have. Someone like you, Rob, that is going to keep working, it might make sense for you to take it now that you're at full retirement because you can make as much money as you want. Just bank that, right? You know, much like Medicare Advantage and supplement. People have to make the best decision for themselves. Same thing holds true in this decision, but run the math, and the math will tell you what is the right thing for you.
And I'm not going to give the exact amount, but he ran the numbers. If I was banking that between now and 70, that's a nice little chunk of money.
It's a significant amount of money, yeah.
So this is what they can do for you. This is what they do every day. You need to make an appointment. There is never a charge for their services. 888-818-6334, MediConnectInsurance.com. Here's where they're going to be. All of these start at 6 o'clock. Penn Hills Library, that's July the 11th. Also July the 11th, the AHN Hempfield Neighborhood Hospital. Love that brand and what they do with Highmark. July 13th, Hampton Inn and Butler. And then July 19th, Moon Library, Beaver Grade Road. 888-818-6334, MediConnectInsurance.com. Click on the Seminars tab to reserve your space. We'll be back. It's Mark Clark and Lance O'Brien, MediConnect, the Inside Connection, KDKA.
Download the Odyssey app and take us with you wherever you go. Pittsburgh's news, weather, and traffic station. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right. Seminars Thursday, July 13th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Pittsburgh in Green Tree at 875 Green Tree Road. Weight loss seminar at 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, July 15th at the Doubletree Hotel Monroeville Convention Center. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
You need to upgrade that bathroom. Now is the time because they're there waiting for you, my friends at Kepco Plumbing, Kitchen, and Bath. One-stop bathroom remodeling. They'll handle it all start to finish, and they've been keeping customers satisfied for nearly 20 years. And they are a premier remodeler. Kepco's designers, plumbers, and craftsmen use Bath-Right products, and they will do it right. 412-821-KEPT, 412-821-5378. Kepco Plumbing, Kitchen, and Bath, where prices are kept low, customers kept satisfied.
Grilling season is here. Time to get to Tom Friday's Market for thick, juicy steaks. Incredible hand-cut T-bone, porterhouse, and bone-in ribeye steaks. Thick, juicy burgers, or try their all-new smokehouse bacon, kielbasa, slab ribs, snack sticks, and more. Tom Friday's is the last butcher shop in Pittsburgh that cuts their meat from fresh sides of local beef. Tom Friday's Market, California Avenue, Brighton Heights. Just 1 minute from the McKees Rocks Bridge. Call 412-766-4500.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
These are the people that make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we're back. It is Mark Clark and Lance O'Brien, MediConnect, the Inside Connection. Again, don't forget, we've got representatives until noon every single Saturday, 888-818-6334, 888-818-6334, or MediConnectInsurance.com. Okay, time to review today's content, and there was a lot of it, Lance.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different layers to understanding Part B. So first of all, let's just do a real quick recap, Mark. What is covered by Part B?
Part B is doctors, outpatient, things like x-rays, blood work, outpatient surgery.
Emergency room, ambulance, right? Things of that nature. It generally has a premium for the majority of people, correct?
Yes, the standard premium is $164.90. That premium can vary year to year. The Medicare determines what it's going to be at the end of the year for next year. And, you could pay more if you earn more, or if you have a penalty, or if you're on Medicaid, Medicaid might pay for it for you.
And if you're a veteran, you might be able to get a reduction on that if you already have A and B. We have a lot of veterans that reach out to us when we talk about this, and it doesn't affect their coverage at all. So Medicare does have a deductible every year. This year it's $226. After the deductible satisfied, there is an 80-20 copay. And that copay, that 20% copay that the individual has to pay, Mark, is there a max out of pocket on that?
There's no max, no cap at all. So, that 20, I always say it. Medicare's not going to come alongside of you at the end of the year and say, look, your 20% was over $10,000 this year. We're going to pay the rest. You're going to have to pay it all. We laugh, but it can't be very sad because it could be a big number.
Yeah, and one of the things I always say is, copays to me are better than percentages, right? Because when it's a copay, I know exactly what I'm going to pay. $20. When it's 20%, I always have to ask a question. 20% of what? Right? And I know Sean has shared the story many times that he had a guy that he worked with that was thinking about just doing original Medicare. He ended up not. He followed, he made the decision after meeting with us to really go with a plan. But he ended up having open heart surgery and a bunch of other stuff happened. His bill for his Part B charges was $2 million, Rob. If he had just had original Medicare, it would have been $400,000. It would have bankrupted him.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. It's just crazy. So there's no max out of pocket. There's no cap. So it can be very scary. Now, not everyone should get Medicare Part B at age 65, right?
No, they shouldn't. again, it's a maybe question because it depends on your situation. If you're working and getting group coverage through your work, or if your spouse is still working and you're getting coverage through your spouse's work, then you don't have to take Part B. You're exempt from having to take it. You can defer it, is what we like to call that, right? And that's a legal way of saying I don't want to pay for my Part B. And you really don't want to take your Part B until you have to.
That's correct.
I just talked to a guy this week that took his Part B early. He took his Part B but stayed on the group coverage from work.
Yeah. And we just talked about that last segment, right?
Yeah, why did you do that? And he said, well, somebody told me I had to.
Yeah.
Well, Lance, I always say, your neighbors, your friends, your family members, your co-workers, they mean well.
Right.
But they don't always know what they're talking about. You want to talk to the experts. You want to talk to us at MediConnect.
I agree.
We are the people that are going to help you navigate this whole system, make sure you don't make mistakes, make sure that you avoid penalties. Yeah. And we're going to be able to take you by the hand and walk you through it so that you don't encounter those bad things.
I think one of the biggest values that we add beyond the actual education of all the numerous rules and really laying it out in simple form, Rob, I think one of the best services we provide is when somebody is turning 65 and they want to keep working, we will do a thorough comparison of their group coverage, and we will let them know if it's better for them to stay with their group coverage and not worry about the penalty, right?
And you don't pay for any of this.
And you don't pay anything for it, right? And there's a lot of people out there, like Mark just said, I had a lady who's called me 3 times and said, everybody keeps telling me I have to do this. I want to keep working. I want to keep my group coverage. And they keep telling me I have to do this. And I'm like, you don't have to do it. You might want to do it after you compare everything and see what it looks like from a financial perspective, but you don't have to do it. So I think that's a really big benefit. And then it's important in making that decision because you don't want to punish yourself with missing potential enrollment periods. So a lot of insight there. Again, in our one-on-one appointments, we'll go into even deeper detail. That's when we get into the nooks and crannies. We'll generally ask for, hey, do you have a copy of your group benefit plan so that we can look at that and review that with them, as well as Medicare, and really simplify the process. So any questions on your Part A, your Part B, as we move through this educational series? Sean's going to be here next week, and he's going to go over Medicare Advantage, and the next week we're going to jump into MedSup, but really we're walking through all the important aspects of Medicare and how they work.
All right, again, let's talk about the seminars and how people can obviously register. There isn't a charge, but you do need to register. Mark.
We've got live advisors standing by. They'll be there till noon, 888-818-6334. The seminars, you want to go to our MediConnectInsurance.com seminars tab. You can see all the seminars. We've got one July 11th, 6 p.m. at the Penn Hills Library, July 11th at 6 p.m. at the AHN Hempfield Neighborhood Hospital. July 13th will be at the Hampton Inn in Butler. And July 19th will be at Moon Library on Beaver Grade Road.
All right, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we'll also be in Glenshaw, Bethel Park, Vandergrift for a full list of seminar dates because there's a lot of them. Just go to MediConnectInsurance.com seminars tab.
You know, this AHN neighborhood hospital thing is absolutely tremendous. And I was actually at the Pediatric Orthopedic Institute on Thursday for the first time out in Wexford. We're so lucky to live here.
We are. We got great health systems. My wife had to go to Allegheny General this week, and just the way that it's set, you know, and the structures. I mean, we really are blessed. We're having some great conversations with UPMC right now. Excited to talk about in the near future some things that we're working on with them. You know, again, Rob, put it simply, we want to make this process as simple for people, and we want them to make the decision, and we want them to be confident in their decision, and we want them to have peace of mind.
You really want to be direct about that today, don't you?
I do, because again, to me, our job is not to dictate. We can direct people, but our job is not to dictate to people. Educate, build a relationship, help them have confidence in their decision about their health care.
Absolutely. You know, Lance, I always like to say that the other good thing about working with us is we're not going to help you get signed up. We're not going to help you just get on a plan and then in a cloud of dust with a Hardy Hi-O Silver off. You know, you're going to be able to call back, and you're going to be able to consult with us more in the future. We're going to be able to help you when you have questions, when you have issues. We're going to be able to direct you and help you do a review every year. You can trust us to be your friend that helps you with your Medicare coverage.
Yeah, and if you found the show helpful today, you can go to our YouTube page, MediConnect Insurance. Over 5,000 subscribers just this year. Pretty amazing. Yep. But there's more content. Medicare in a Minute if you're looking at greater details for this. Obviously, you can follow us on Facebook. We are always updating there, up to the minute, things that are happening. Another shout out to Charlene in Pittsburgh for listening. All of our loyal listeners for winning our gas card today with Kevin Bacon. Again, we just appreciate you all so much.
So Kevin's like ready to go himself, huh?
Hey, he's 65 today, so I don't know. Yeah, give us a call, Kevin. I'd love to have that conversation.
And one thing I can definitely say it's a true fact. He's in much better shape than me. That's for sure.
Hey, but you're looking good, man. You know,
it's the power of prayer, brother. Thank goodness, man. You know,
Skinny Mini. Now you just start lifting again. You'll be the world's studliest 65-year-old radio host, man.
All right, guys. Listen. Maybe the oldest. Thank you, Mark. Good stuff.
Thank you, bro.
All right, Lance, great. Both very inspirational. They know what they're doing. They want to help you. 888-818-6334, MediConnectInsurance.com.
The preceding was paid for by MediConnect. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the preceding program.
When Mary arrived for her second visit, she opened my door and danced from the door to my front desk with this huge smile on her face. And then she just started bawling. She starts to tell me that it was the first time in 12 years that she felt relief. And then I started to well up.
That's Dr. Sean Ritchie of Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. And Mary Danced In is just one of his thousands of success stories.
Peripheral neuropathy, if I can explain it in terms that they feel it, it's like if you would sit on your foot and your foot falls asleep, you start to tap it and it comes back to life. Or their foot never comes back to life. It's always feeling that numbness, that pins and needles, that tingling, and it just never goes away. So Mary comes in, proceed to hear that she's had this for 12 years. Got to the point where she was about to go into a walker. 2 days later, she's dancing.
To schedule your free consultation, call Tri-State Neuropathy Centers at 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000. Or visit MaryDancedIn.com.
I'm Dr. Sean Ritchie. Mary Danced In. I want you to be next.
Did you know that when you buy a mattress from a retail store, that mattress is being sold for the second time? What do I mean? Well, the manufacturer sells the mattress to the retailer, who in turn sells it to you with costs and markups for both parties. This is Greg Trzynski, and at the Original Mattress Factory, we have our own factory right here at our store. So the mattress you buy is being sold for the first and only time. That's why our prices are hundreds less than the mainstream brands. Visit originalmattress.com to learn more.
When the Original Mattress Factory opened its doors, our competitors questioned our approach. When we vowed to never have a sale, they said, holiday sales are huge moneymakers for the bedding industry. A mattress store that doesn't have a sale just won't work. But OMF didn't listen. Instead, we offered the same fair price to everyone every day. We chose to have transparent pricing and not apply pressure to close a sale. Over 30 years later, we're proud to say that we still have never had a sale. The others said it wouldn't work. We're so glad we didn't listen. OriginalMattress.com.
Beauty, durability, and value. For a limited time, get free installation on any Naturestone basement floor. Call or visit Naturestone.com to schedule your free cost estimate. Spots are filling up quickly, so act now. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Company.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music,